The Tory MP for Blackpool South, Scott Benton, has resigned, triggering yet another tricky by-election for the Prime Minister. Here to give us an idea of the kind of challenge this constituency poses is Joe Twyman, founder and director of Deltapoll. Joe, very good to see you there. This is, in some respects, I guess, a classic red wall seat, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. This was a constituency since 1992 had been with Labour. That was until Scott Benton came along at the last election and won it for the Conservatives. He won just under half of the vote, with Labour in second place on 38%. The Brexit Party and Lib Dems were a long way behind, and so it's really a two-horse race traditionally. But of course, with the Conservatives doing so badly nationally, this is very much Labour's to hold on to, Labour's to gain. But beyond the simple voting, when you look at the demographics of the constituency, you see how it's the kind of constituency that Labour will want to win back and needs to win back. It has a 68% Leave vote, it's estimated, so very much a Leave-leaning constituency, and nearly a third of the people there are over 60, and 93% are white British, both well above the national average. And perhaps crucially, only 6.4% of the population have a degree, so far fewer people with higher educational qualifications than nationally. In fact, there are only 8 constituencies in the whole of England with fewer people with degrees. So very much the kind of place that Labour will want to gain.
These are the people that the Labour leader's office refers to, I think rather oddly, as hero voters. And you're right, this is a weird by-election in a sense, because although it's a Tory seat and it's being defended by the Tories, the pressure is going to be really on Keir Starmer to show that he can win big here, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. If Labour cannot win in this constituency, it really does raise questions about their ability to gain the kind of seats they need to in order to get that majority at the next election. It's estimated that on the new boundaries, Labour will need to win over 120 gains at the next election, and it will those gains, Labour hopes, will come from constituencies like this. But the key question, I think, perhaps more interestingly than just Labour's performance, is how will Reform do? Reform have been the big success story.
Indeed, yes.
They've been the big success story in the polls over the last few months, and this is precisely the kind of constituency that they will be targeting. They probably won't get a better chance in a constituency like this before the election, and so if they can't win here, or at least give Labour a bloody nose, then it really does raise questions about their ability to win anywhere.
Because this is just the kind of sort of Brexity, white, northern constituency that they were almost created to win.
Absolutely, it's older than average. It's extremely white British compared to the national average. It leans heavily towards Leave, and as I mentioned, there are a great number of people with fewer educational qualifications. That is prime Reform territory. These, as you say, these white, older, working class constituencies. And so if they cannot put in a really good performance in these types of constituencies, it's difficult to see where they can do well at the upcoming general election.
Fantastically illuminating. Thank you very much indeed.